Hey guys, what's up? Rain here. We have early access hotfix number 18. This includes a wipe that's going to be happening, and we have the time. It's going to be 3 p.m. and this is Mountain Standard Time, so convert that to your current location basically. But 3 p.m. is when they're going to be starting the downtime for the wipe, and everything will be back up after 4 hours. So 7 p.m. tonight, Mountain Standard Time is when you will be getting the wipe into effect. So that's super exciting. Tons of patch notes here, so we'll jump right into them. Fix an issue where Arcane Shield could not reactivate. Interesting. Fix an issue where Smoke Pot was malfunctioning. Fix an issue where Smite could be applied twice. That seems like an overpowered bug. I wonder if that was happening unintentionally. So sometimes you'd just be like really wrecking things. Fix an issue where more additional damage than intended was being applied when calculating magic damage. Okay, so magic damage has probably been nerfed in some way from that. Other minor bugs have been fixed. Blow of Corruption duration after activation has been reduced from 12 seconds to 8 seconds, so you have a little bit more of a counterplay window where you can run away from them, have their Blow of Corruption drop, and then go back in and re-engage. Blow of Corruption's additional magic damage was reduced from 20 to 15, so a little bit of a nerf there to Warlocks. You're not going to get one-tapped quite as easily. I assume this still has a headshot ratio on it, so that'll be a significant nerf there. Ranger's default arrows have been increased from 30 to 40, so you just get more arrows by default. We're buffing Ranger. Let's go. Ranger needs more buffs. Just kidding, guys. I'm being totally sarcastic. Random modifiers for items have changed. So this to me says they're changing weapon damage. That's what this means to me. Random modifiers for items have been changed. I also hope that they've adjusted like regular interaction speed and magical interaction speed. They were never effective enough to like actually feel like they meant anything, right? Like 1% or something. So hopefully this has been updated and allows us to have better items. Certain item modifiers now only appear on certain parts. Okay, so this is also probably like weapon damage kind of things or additional magic damage kind of things. Certain item modifiers do not appear together. Okay, this is probably what I was talking about. And a lot of other updates, what I've been hoping for is if you have weapon damage, additional physical damage, and true physical damage, they should be mutually exclusive, right? So they should only appear on an item once. If you have weapon damage, you shouldn't get true physical damage as well on the same item, which should drastically lower the overall damage output and put everything into a much better balance, in my opinion. We'll see exactly what they did once we're in game, but all of these have definitely been changed. Item rarity is now displayed in the item information panel. Bandages and potions stack to 3 times in inventory and stash. Okay, so we're back to stacking. I feel like there was a playtest or something where they had stacking bandages and potions at one point, and then they took it out and spread it out, right? And so now we're back to stacking. It's going to be easier to hold meds without feeling like half your entire inventory full of bandages and potions. Most crafted items now stack in the inventory and stash. Okay, so that's super good. So your moldy bread, your cloth, right? Your enchanted dark cloth, all that kind of stuff is now going to stack, which is going to make inventory and stash management way better. The gold bag capacity was increased from 500 coins to 1,000. The gold chest capacity was increased from 3,000 to 10,000 gold coins. Okay, so those just got way more valuable. I'm actually super excited for this. Our stashes are going to be so much bigger with all of these changes here. Added equip time for crossbows. So I guess it's going to be longer to pull out the crossbow, and you can no longer switch them instantaneously between your hands, right? I assume this is like if you put 5 in your inventory and you keep right clicking them into the slot, it now takes time for you to do that instead of you just being able to instantaneously whip out crossbows on repeat and just keep shooting them. So that's good. That gets rid of that meta, hopefully. Arrows now stack up to 20, so it's going to be less inventory space for Rangers. I'm actually completely okay with this. This was like the one big downside of playing Ranger. It's just, it doesn't feel good to have your entire inventory be full of arrows, so they are changing that. The damage of crossbow and longbow has been reduced. Okay, we're nerfing rangers damage across the board and fighters, right? Crossbow and longbow has been reduced. Alchemist and surgeon no longer sell out of health potions and bandages. Okay, so they're no longer limiting that, which that's really nice. I always hated having to wait an extra like 10 minutes for the shops to restock in order to get more health potions after you died or whatever on your last run. So that's super nice. If you were unaware, shops reset every half an hour on the half hour. So if it's like noon, then it's going to reset. 12:30 it resets, 1 it resets, 1:30, etc. So these will just no longer sell out, which is really nice. Crystal Ball is now sold by the Fortune Teller. Okay, so they moved that from the Alchemist to the Fortune Teller. This means you'll probably see more staves and books in the Alchemist. So it should be easier to get a book. Although I feel like with the merchant changes before, that wasn't a huge deal. Previously, the Fortune Teller only had the luck pots. So I think they're just trying to fill that store out, basically. You can sell coin purses and coin bags back to merchants now. Okay, that's nice to do. I always hated having to fill my inventory up with them and stuff, and before when they get stuck in your inventory because you can bring them to normals. This is just a good change in general. Fixed location escape/dam portals added to the crypt for testing. I think there were some dam portals that were causing issues where they would appear like inside a wall or something. So this is good to have that fixed. Inferno playtime has been increased by 2 minutes. Okay, so when you go down, you're going to have 2 extra minutes. This should give people a longer time to clear mobs, to do the boss, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be more worthwhile to go down because you have more time to actually fill your inventory up instead of just trying to run to wherever the portals are spawning. Loot drops have been rebalanced. There will be less loot drops overall. Okay, so loot has been nerfed a little bit here. I do think it was still probably a little bit too high, but mainly in sellables. I still think they should be pretty liberal with how they give out the gear. Just let it be, right? I don't think blue should be like a really rare thing, in my opinion. Unless you really want to try and incentivize high roller and be like, okay, we only drop greens and below in normals. If you want anything better, you go to high roller. In that case, hey, maybe that's a good way to actually incentivize people to going and playing high roller. I'd be down for them to try something like that. Additional stat space can be rented. This feature is temporary. Okay, so they're doing a test on additional stat space is basically what they're saying here. They're like, we want to test this out. We want to see how this feels, if you can rent stash space or not. I wonder exactly how this will work in the game, whether it's going to be like every day you need to have a certain amount of gold in there. You're going to lose that stash space or something. We'll see exactly how that goes, but I think this is a good change overall. We're already getting a ton more space too, just from them squishing items, so you can carry them a lot easier. So we'll see exactly how this goes, but I think this is good. I'm totally down for them to do this test. The leaderboard will now remain visible until this next season rankings begin. Okay, so you'll be able to see the previous season's leaderboard prior to the next one beginning. So it will say ended, but then you'll actually be able to see who got what positions at the end of it easily. To avoid potential abuse, all players ranked in the top 100 of the leaderboard or after the leaderboard ends will receive decay points equal to the length of the leaderboard dates. Players who start the leaderboards from day 1 will not receive any additional decay once the leaderboard has finished. Interesting. So I believe what this is saying is if you start late, you will get all of your delay for the entire duration at once. So if you only played the last day and you had 20 perfect matches, so you were first place on the leaderboard, it's going to go, right? And every day you would normally receive a decay. And so what they're doing is they're applying that in bulk at the end, which would mean 16 of your games would just disappear and you would have only escaped on 4 technically. So it basically forces you to play throughout the season. You only need to play like 1 game a day, but if you're missing days, you're going to get those added on to the end. Yeah, okay. Cool. I think that might be good. That this stops people from just getting rank 1 on the last day, basically. It's going to force you to put your name up there beforehand and actually like commit to that. So it's probably a good thing. We can see how this test goes. And then they do have some comments down here. We've completed Hotfix 18, including a wipe of all items in gold. We needed to wipe the items in gold since we wanted to test a large rebalance to our random modifier system. We were not satisfied with the previous implementation of the random modifier system for multiple reasons. We believe it added too much RNG, made balancing the game untenable due to the extremes, and provided false variety. And provided false variety to the game by encouraging less diversity and certain modifiers were too overpowered. Internally, we had discussed completely removing the random modifiers from the game, but decided to give it one more chance with a revamped system. We have significantly reduced the amount of damage stacking that is possible and have reduced the randomness of the system by having modifiers tied to specific slots. If we decided that we cannot make the system work, we will replace it when we have a new system ready. After the last wipe, we have opened the floodgates to an abundance of gold to push the limits of the economy. That experiment helped us realize that the limited stash served as a big hindrance to players. This time, we will be experimenting with additional stash sizes to alleviate some of those issues. We have also added fixed portals to both the normal and high roller crypts to experiment with giving players additional strategies outside of simply following the Dark Swarm. Okay, so they're adding fixed portals. That's actually what they meant up there. I was thinking they were fixing portals, but there will be portals that are guaranteed on these maps that you can go to immediately and extract. This will stop people from just being able to camp that end circle. If you know where the fixed exit is, you can go into the swarm, take a portal that's always going to be there, unless somebody else took it, of course, and instead of just having to follow it and wait for the random ones to spawn. So I think that's actually super cool. That's a great concept, great idea. I'm super excited to see how that works and how that lets newer players get out easily. We hope that with this hotfix, we can start focusing on making more content rather than just balancing. We have high hopes that these changes will provide good data as we prepare for more content-rich patch number 2, which is scheduled for mid-November. Thanks again for all your support. And that is it, guys, for hotfix number 18. Big changes. I'm really excited. I think they're going very much in the right direction here. So thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all later.